Wiggle your big toe. Wiggle your big toe.
The blending of genre tropes, the sophisticated, witty dialogue, the constant utterances of profanity, there are several significant traits that compose a Tarantino film.
Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Because you're a faggot, all right?
However, there's always that one moment that instantly gives that movie that Tarantino signature, the shot of the gun, or in most cases, many guns. The abrupt, explosive sound accompanied with massive spurts of gratuitous blood give entire scenes a whole new aesthetic and pace. However, there lies something deeper underneath these bloody scenes, something that Tarantino is trying to convey with his stylized approach to on-screen violence. To best answer this, we should look at a film that he wrote and directed and compare it with the film he wrote but did not direct. Let's look at Inglourious Basterds for the former and True Romance for the latter.
Well, that makes us practically related.
Both films feature at least one shootout scene. True Romance features the endgame shootout at the hotel, and Bastards features the shootout scene in the bar. Both scenes feature a multitude of characters about to blow each other away, but once the shootouts actually begin, each portrayal is radically different. In True Romance, the action is almost cut to the gunfire. Each time a shot is fired, the camera shot changes. People get struck by bullets and fall dead left and right, but there's undoubtedly something missing from this scene that makes the other Tarantino shootout scenes so morbidly satisfying. The gallons of blood. There's still a fair amount of blood in this scene, but for the most part, we only see it during the aftermath of the conflict. Nevertheless, the scene is by no means tame. The sheer amount of death and hostility on screen is enough to make one cringe at each bullet penetrating human flesh. But when we move over to Inglourious Basterds, we are unleashed to a whole other animal. After the tense Mexican standoff between the undercover allies and the Nazis, things start to get gory. The first shot into a Nazi's crotch covers the entire table with blood, with the scene only escalating from there. More and more soldiers rapidly spray bullets into each other, but unlike True Romance, the camera doesn't cut away after each gunshot. In fact, the audience is treated to gratuitous blood and gore emanating from each body, covering every square inch of the set. It looks so unrealistic, so over the top, and borderline ridiculous compared to True Romance. However, that gives it a marginally different feel to the scene. The stylized, bright-colored blood covering the scene and animosity revealed through the relentless killing of one another conveys an ironically satisfying message. The audience may even find themselves laughing as they watch the shooting unfold, which is quite an odd feeling to possess when watching such a graphic scene. When you look at Tarantino's other shootout scenes throughout his filmography, it's evident that nearly all of them are like this. The violence is grandiose and excessively bloody, and audience members feel little, if any, empathy toward the characters getting blown away. If one were to look at similar scenes in a different movie, such as True Romance or a typical World War II movie, the mood set by the director would garner a drastically different reaction than in scenes like Django Unchained or Kill Bill Volume 1, usually one of empathy or somberness. Tarantino films, on the other hand, attempt to fill the audience with glee by seeing characters getting mowed down by gunfire, or in some cases, a katana. This glee, one may argue, is a key element caused by an underlying motif in nearly all of Tarantino's films, the satisfaction of revenge. In Pulp Fiction, it's revenge against the rapists for their acts against Marcellus and Butch. In Kill Bill Volume 1, it's revenge against Oren for conspiring to kill the bride and her unborn daughter. In Bastards, it's symbolic revenge against the Nazis for the historical atrocities they've committed. When looking at it this way, it does all feel a bit morbid. We as audience members are conditioned by Tarantino to feel pleasure in the gruesome deaths of characters in a film. This doesn't necessarily mean Tarantino himself condones such vengeful and morbid thoughts, but it does make one think about what an average moviegoer finds entertaining. The gory, gratuitous violence in Tarantino's films essentially make us question, are we as humans as pure-minded and forgiving as we perceive? Thanks for watching.
You know something, you rich? I think this just might be my masterpiece.